Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to do tenses and the overview of all these tenses today. Okay, so let's start. Here we are. Now, how do you know that a certain sentence is written in the present or the past or the future tense? So what is the most important thing? The most important thing is the verb. When you look at the verb, you understand okay, whether the sentence is in the present or is in the past or is in the future tense. Okay, so the verb is the way is most important thing. Here we are with the present tense. Present tense are basically something which is generally repeated, repeated actions or something universal truth. You use it in the present tense. For the past tense, an action that has started and finished in the past is known as past tense. And then we have the future tense, which tells you something about the future. Now here we have there are 12 possible verb tenses and basically present, past and future. These three main tenses have further four subtypes, and that is indefinite, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous tense. Now continuous tense is also known as progressive tense as well, so you can you should be familiar with the word progressive as well, okay, because this is known as either progressive tense or continuous tense. So all these tenses have four types. Now we are going to review the tenses and the rules that we are going to use over here. Now if you look at the first one, and that is the present tense. Now the first form of the verb is used, and along with that you are going to use s or es. Now what is s or es? S or es means okay, in the present tense, when you have a singular noun, for example hera, hena, a single name ali, ahmed, and you use a verb with it, so you're going to use s or es. For example, if I say hera plays, so it is I have used an s with it. And if it's a plural noun, for example you're using Amjad and Ahmad, so then you're going to use the first form of the verb. You're not going to add s or es. And when you're going to change this present indefinite tense into negative, you're going to use either does or do. So do is used with the plural forms, and does is used with the singular form. For example, with those verbs with which you have used s or es, you are going to use does, that he does not play. Then when you use does, the s with the verb will automatically be removed. So here this is a bit tricky. Present indefinite tense is a bit tricky in this sense. Then we have the past indefinite tense. In the past indefinite tense, we have the second form of the verb is used, and again when you are going to change into negative, you're going to use did over there, and with did you're going to use the first form of the verb. Then we have the future tense, and in future tense you have will, shall plus first form of the verb. Now when we move to progressive forms, now progressive forms are the continuous forms. In this in the present tense, you're going to use is am plus first form of the verb, and in the past you have was, were plus first form was, were, and you're going to use first form of the verb plus ing. Sorry, in the progressive, in the present tense, again first form ke sath ing bhi aaya hua hai, and this is basically known as the present participle. In the same way you have over here this is known as the present participle, yani first form of the verb plus ing is known as present participle, and basically this is the fourth form of the verb. So in the future tense, again you have will be, and then you have the present participle used over here. Now we are going to go to perfect tense. In perfect tense, the specialty of perfect tense is that you have a has or have plus third form of the verb is used. Okay? In the past you have had plus third form of the verb, and in the future you have will have plus third form of the verb. Now we are going to move to the last one, and that is the perfect progressive tense. Now in perfect progressive form, you have has been or have been plus again the present participle, then in the past had been plus present participle, and then will have been and present participle. Now we are going to do present tense in a bit of detail. Now here we are with the simple present tense. The formula for the simple present tense is that you are going to use subject plus a second form of the verb. Now V2 means second form of the verb and object. Now simple present tense is used for an action which happened at a particular time in the past. Now if you look at the next page, and this is that there are four types of sentences written. The first one is affirmative. Affirmative means simple sentence, which is a positive sentence. There is no negativity in it, no question and nothing. So affirmative sentence is a simple statement. For example, if they have written I played. Now sentence, when you are going to change this tense, now over here second form of verb has been used. Now when you're going to change it into negative, what are you going to apply? You're going to apply did. and with did not, what are you going to do? You're going to use the first form of the verb. Yani over here, whenever you're applying did, you're going to use the first form of the verb with it. If you say I did not played, that will be incorrect. So the right one is I did not play. And interrogative, again, it will come out. And negative interrogative is quite simple. You're going to use did plus then subject and then not, and then your sentence will be complete. Now here we are with the subject. Past continuous tense, again, it's very easy. With the past continuous tense, you're going to use subject plus was were, either was or were. Then they have written first form of verb plus ing, meaning present participle. And the present continuous the past continuous tense is used for an action which was happening at a particular time in the past. Now there are certain examples. For example, boys were playing. Now it is quite simple. This sentence is quite simple. Why? Because you already have a helping verb. When you have a helping verb, then converting it into a negative or interrogative is quite easy, because you are gonna use not with the helping verb, or you're gonna bring out the helping verb in the beginning, and it is gonna become your interrogative sentence. Okay. Now we have the past perfect tense. And the past perfect tense, the speciality is that you're going to use had plus third form of the verb. And the past perfect tense is used to express an action that was completed before another action started. Now this is a very important part. The past perfect tense means you have mostly two actions, and the first action that is completed in the first place, that will be written in the past perfect, and the second action will be written in the past indefinite or simple past tense. This is a very important point. It is used with the earlier of the two action. Earlier of the two means over here that the action that took place before. Okay. And the simple past tense is used with the other action. If there you have two action, the first action that took place will be in the past perfect tense, and the second action will be in the past indefinite tense. Now let's look at the example. Sheila had played. Now over here they have just given you a simple past perfect tense, in which you have had plus you have the third form of the verb. They have not given you two sentences, but if you get two sentences, then you should remember, okay, the first part will be in the past perfect, and the second part will be in past indefinite tense. Okay. Now here we go with the past perfect continuous tense, and this is the subject plus had been plus verb. First form of the verb is used over here, and plus object. Okay. Okay, there is a bit of mistake over here. If you look very clearly, past perfect progressive tense, यहाँ पे they have written verb, first form of a verb, but they have forgotten the ing. So this is important, that you are gonna use the formula will be subject plus had plus been plus verb, first form of verb plus ing, and then object. Then it will become your past perfect continuous tense. The ing form is very important over there. Okay, so it will be clear when you look at this example. For example, Ria had been playing. Okay. Now this is a sentence that have in which you have used the perfect continuous tense, that Ria had been playing. Now we also use for instance over here in these examples they haven't written it, but it is just an overall view. Inshallah we are going to do that later, but just look at it. It's quite simple when you're changing it into negative or interrogative, that you're going to use not and had in the beginning, and then the location. Just look at it and you're going to understand it. Okay. Now here we go, we are going to move to present tense, and in the present tense again simple present tense will have what we are going to have subject plus first form of the verb plus object. And what does it do? It expresses the general truth. For example, the sun rises in the east. This is a common truth. You can't say the sun rose in the east and now it is rises from the east and then the sun rose from the east. This will be incorrect. Something which is habitual, you are going to follow it in simple present tense. For example, she goes to school regularly or daily, whatever is habitual routine ka jo kaam hota hai, for that you are going to use simple present tense. Again universal truth jo honge, you are going to use simple present tense. For that you can't use past or other tenses for that. Okay. Now here we are with the examples. Now over here they have affirmative, they have used s with the play they have used no s or yes. Why? Because here this the pronoun is they. It's a plural form. If it was singular, then they would have used s or es over here. So as it is the pronoun or the noun is, if it's plural form, then you're going to use do, and when you change it into negative you're going to say do not. play. Okay, and again, when you are changing it in interrogative, you're gonna bring the do in the beginning and you say do they play, and you're gonna add a question mark in it. Now this tense is quite easy. Most if I say okay, this is the most easy, the easiest tense of all, because you're going to use SMR helping verb, and you're going to use the fourth form of the verb, that is first form plus ing becomes the fourth form of the verb, and that is known as the present participle. And it is quite easy how you're going to form the examples, and the examples are quite clear. You are playing, you're not playing, are you playing. It's quite simple, so it's not that difficult. Then we have the present perfect tense. In present perfect tense we have has or have plus third form of the verb. Now third form of the verb is important, and they have used has with singular, have with plural form. In the perfect tense, the perfect tense denotes an action that was started in the past and had just been completed, so that becomes the present perfect tense. And present perfect tense की खास बात ये होती है कि it tells you something that has happened now, that has just completed now. So ये now जो है ना फैक्टर present perfect tense में होता है. ठीक है. These are the general examples that I have played, I have not played, have I played. These are the general examples of this tense. And let's move further. Then we have the present perfect continuous tense. The formula is important. Main thing is the formula, and that is have been plus this verb plus ing form plus the object. Okay. We have been playing, we have not been playing, have we been playing are the general examples that you can understand over here. Then now we are going to go to future tense. Now in future tense we have will or shall plus first form of the word. Now will is used with all the third person pronouns, and I and we only have shall. I shall or we shall. You use first with the first person I or we, you use shall, and with the rest of the things you use will. For example, he, she, it, you're going to use will. Okay, so this is the again a very quite simple sentence and very easy. For example, Ravi will play, Ravi will not play, and will Ravi play. Now future continuous tense, you're going to use will be and shall be. Now look at just the formula. The will be over there you have used only will or shall. Now here you're going to use will be or shall be plus first form of verb and ing and the object. Okay. Now again, I will be playing, I will not be playing, the general examples hai. Acha, and now you are going to ask me a question, okay, ma'am, why have they used will over here when you said you are going to use shall? So you can use will when you are determined about something, or jahan pe aapki determination show ho rahi hai, so then you are going to use what? You are going to use will, and it will be correct. It will you can't say it's not correct, it's incorrect. No, because whenever you are showing a determination, for example, if I say I will go to crush you tomorrow, it shows your determination, so it becomes your basically it becomes correct when you use will. Okay, and if you don't use shall. Now here we are with the future perfect tense. In the future perfect tense, what do we have? We have shall have, will have plus third form of the verb. Because the speciality of the perfect tense is that you are going to use has, have, has, have had, and you are going to use the third form of the verb. This is the basic speciality of perfect tense. Has, have had plus third form of the verb. And in future tense, again you are going to use shall and will with it, and it will become shall have and will have. Now for example, she will have played, she will not have played, etc. Now we have the future perfect continuous tense, and with this we are going to have a will shall plus have been plus first form plus ing and object, so it will become your future perfect tense. They haven't given over here the for and since concept, but as I'll tell you what is the for and the since concept over here. That for and since are mostly used with what? They are used with the perfect continuous tense overall. Perfect continuous, whether it's present perfect, future, or past perfect. Where are you supposed to use for? Now let's see. When there is a number 1, 2, 3, just a number. Okay, mention they are mentioning a number, that 2 hours, 3 hours, 2 weeks, 1 year, 4 years, then what are you going to use? You are going to use for. And if they are mentioning the names of a certain days or the months and all that, then you are going to use what? You are going to use since. For example, days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So since Tuesday, since Wednesday, since Thursday, year. For example, 1922, 1922, 2015, 2020. So you are going to use since. And then if you have, for example, time. For example, if you वहाँ पे आपने कहा था ना, for you are, when you were using for, you said 2 hours, 3 hours. Now over here you are going to say 7 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So when you are not specific about a certain point, and the start a certain point starts and you don't know about the specific point, then you're going to use since. And if you are specific and concerned about a specific point, when you know point of time, the period of time, now this is the period of time, and if you look at the since, this is the point of time. That in since only the point of time is mentioned, and in for the period of time is mentioned. So in since you're going to use case since last Tuesday, since morning. These are the examples of since. Okay, and they are mostly used in the progressive tense. So here are the few examples of perfect continuous tense. Raja will have been playing, will not have been playing, Raj and will Raj have been playing, etc. Okay, now this is your task. What you're supposed to do, take a screenshot of this page over here, and you are supposed to do it on your notebooks. Okay, these are general exercise. Do it on your notebook. It will improve your correct form of verbs as well, and you're also gonna understand the English. So with this, I'm going to end the lesson, and I hope that you have enjoyed. Do this homework on your neat notebooks. Okay ji, Allah Hafiz.